online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello and welcome, boys, girls, and gender non-conformers. This is the Foster's After Show, AFTERBUZZ TV. We are so excited to be back. It's Father's Day, Season 3, Episode 2.
It reminded me that Father's Day is coming up.
I know.
I already sent my card in the mail, girl. Already
You're
did it.
one up. We have so much to say about this episode, but as always, we want to hear from you, definitely. You can tweet at us with the hashtag ABTVFosters. Jillian's going to be checking that, and you can rate, comment, and subscribe on YouTube and iTunes. Let's hook it up with some intros. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from JeffMasters1.
I am Jillian Leff. Hi, guys. I tweet from @JillianLeff.
I'm Hannah Prichard, and I tweet from @TheHotShotDude.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. What are your overall impressions over Father's Day?
I mean, I cried a lot of tears tonight.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yes, dude. I was like having all the moments in that front row.
What was the biggest moment?
Kerr Smith, maybe.
Oh, that was a good one.
Talking to Callie was that was a tough one for me.
How could
Oh,
you,
no.
The Donald moment.
I was going to take that back. The Donald moment, Callie running up to Donald before he got on the bus, tears.
Oh, God.
Tears.
What did you think, Jeff?
I mean, like you said, it was a juicy episode. The Donald and Robert Quinn run-in, I just did not anticipate happening.
No, and I didn't realize that it would be like that when they did run into each other. Like, there was so much tension, and I couldn't decide who it was coming from or if it just all of them felt uncomfortable. And
Totally. And I just felt like all of the backstory of Donald being like, oh, this is the guy whose child I raised as my own, and now who has, like, turned against me. I'm just like, ooh. I mean, let's start with the Callie storyline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was kind of the ending, but the beginning, we see her reunited with Sophia. Sophia is back. She looks like a grown-up.
She's does.
She's like, I mean that in a good way. Like, she is growing up.
Right.
She's dressed her age, which finally, thank God, they were dressing her in like mom clothes
I know
last season. Purposefully. Sophia still has like kind of like issues going on that she's trying to figure out.
she does.
Yeah, I thought that was good to see, because these are like big issues that can't always be solved just with drugs. Not that I think that solves every issue, but like
It's important to
what
show...
they call it, borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, well, it's important that I guess they showcased sort of her journey and her ups and downs. You know,
Yeah.
right out the gate, she's talking about how she sort of has a bad attitude sometimes, and her mom calls her out on it. You know, she snapped at Callie, even though she thinks Callie is just like the number one fleek princess of the world.
Yeah, she's like the second coming.
Yeah, I mean, I liked that they showed that. And then also sort of her paranoia when she thought that she was being sent away.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's scary. Like, imagine dealing with a mental illness, and on top of that, not being able to control your mental illness and fearing that your parents are just not going to want you anymore.
Yeah. And it's not like a broken bone that can be healed and you see it's healed and so you like go and run and play again.
Right.
Like, it's trickier and like.
And I like that she's like owning all of her feelings on the show. She's being very like open about her ups and downs with everybody and not like hiding anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I like too like the nice bonding moment we got to have with her and the whole family on the boat.
I wanted to be on that
Jill's
boat.
biggest fan.
I think one thing that I did find kind of weird. I mean, I guess now, you know, I've accepted it, but the last time we saw Callie and Sophia interact, it wasn't as loving, bonding, sisterly.
It's true.
And I feel like this episode really reminded me of how Callie and Jude used to be. And I don't know if they were using that as a device, because it seems like Callie and Jude have grown apart and Sophia and Callie have grown together. And especially highlighted with, you know, the different dad thing today. But I was surprised that Callie was so comforting. You know, we don't really know that side of her.
Only Jude does.
Yeah, and she sort of helps when she can help, but she doesn't overextend herself normally. And I just felt like, especially when they were talking about Robert and Jill separating, she was like all over, like, oh,
I know,
sweetie, it's okay.
It was a really cute moment, though.
But I was surprised because the last time we saw them interact, it was still very new, and I just don't know how much time has passed, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's like how like siblings treat each other too.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hate you and never want to see you again, but let's get ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you get the sprinkles? You get the sprinkles. Great. We got sprinkles.
And if it's about your parents and struggles, bonding moment. You hate each other until something's going on with your parents, and then you're like, yeah, they suck. Right?
I know. I've kind of been anticipating having the Robert Quinn's affair storyline come back at some point this season. It had to. They planted those seeds last season, but I was not anticipating it via like a separation.
Neither was I. I thought something was going to like blow up more than that, and it was like handled very...
I kind of forgot that we even saw those pictures.
Really?
I mean, kind of. It was like, oh, wow, that happened, and then they never mentioned it again. So
That's
for
true.
them to bring it up now, I was like, oh.
I did not forget about it, but I was really happy to see that they weren't like outed. You know, it wasn't like Steph breaking in with a flashlight being like, found ya. It was like a confession.
Exactly. It wasn't like a whole big dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just kind of dealt with the issue, and which has to be tough on Sophia because she's going through all of these things. And I know there's no right time to tell a child that they're separating, but I'm like, dang, that's tough. She's being open about all of the struggles that she's having, and now she has to learn that her parents are separating, and like where is she gonna live, and all. It breaks my heart.
Just more instability for someone that just needs stability.
I know, totally.
It's unfortunate.
But like as viewers, we can enjoy the nice scene we got out of it between Robert Quinn and Callie, talking about how much he likes Jill. That's her name, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You just said you're a huge fan, Jeff.
It's really easy to remember her name, you know?
Yeah, it was like nice to see he finally had this like vulnerable moment, and that he was able to like, not every like father goes around like flaunting how much he loves his wife, and it was nice to hear.
Oh my gosh, he just by the way, and Steph wants everybody to know that even though he was unfaithful, Kerr Smith was everything in this episode, and I agree with her. He killed me.
That was Steph. She'll be back next week. Don't worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He just owned up on everything in such a beautiful way. And like the way he talked to her about Donald and like made her understand that despite like each of their own mistakes, they're still both equal. You know what I mean? That neither mistake is worse than the other.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
What'd he say? I'm not a better man. I'm just luckier.
Oh God. Killed me.
I wrote that quote down. Yeah, I'll tweet that out later.
So great.
Something I was kind of surprised by. I don't want to throw shade because it wasn't like a big.
You don't want to throw shade.
I don't want to throw shade far.
Okay.
No, it wasn't like a big thing that took me out of the scene at all. But Maia Mitchell's accent is always like perfect. And this episode, 2 or 3 times I heard her Australian creeping in.
Yeah, when she said mom, right?
Mother.
She killed our mother. And then another scene when she got excited, like her Australian came out, and usually her Australian is fine when she's excited. She's excited a lot.
Yeah.
It was just I was really surprised that like I don't know if they didn't catch it or they let it go or whatever the reason was. I was just like it took me off guard.
Yeah, I actually thought the same thing. Even because they showed that mother part in the preview, and I was like,
Yeah.
We said that last week.
yeah, we were like, oh.
I was just surprised because like it's season 3. Like season 1 get away with it, but I don't know. I was surprised by that.
Maybe she's getting really comfortable with doing an American accent that she like forgets she's doing one and sways in and out now.
Who knows?
I don't know. I've seen her in a lot of things since then, like the Teen Beach movies, and her accent's
really?
always so good.
I don't know about these.
Oh, it's a musical.
1 and 2. 2 is premiering soon, right? If it hasn't already.
It is.
How do I not know about these?
You need to watch them.
Clearly.
Yes. It's like High School Musical, but for the 2014, 2015.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
But like
Tweens.
on a beach.
On a beach, yeah.
On a beach.
Time
So
travel.
like Justin and Kelly and High School Musical had a baby
With like time
Absolutely.
travel. Yeah. I know.
With-
it's crazy.
with
It's
time
fun.
travel.
It's really fun.
yeah, they go back to like the 50s or
And also one of the guys from season 2 was in it. I forgot. He was
Garrett.
the Garrett.
Yeah.
The one who Marianne put her panties in his jacket.
Oh.
And he was like, why don't you want to sleep with me?
forgot about
That was the
him.
guy, Garrett.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So everyone home, we definitely want to hear from you. We like knowing what you like, what you don't like, what you kind of like, but we could do better on. And we have somewhere for you to go to take a quick survey if you will be so kind. It's podcast1.com. One is spelled out WONE. And that can just let us know kind of what we can do better to help please you, because that is why we are here. So that's www.podcast1.com. And please keep all of your tweets and comments coming. We love hearing from you. So next, I would like to talk about the Father's Day lunch celebration on the whole, because we had a lot of interesting components to that.
Well, let's do that, please.
Okay, I guess we should start with Donald, since we already got in that conversation. Jude invites Donald. I was taken aback by how vehement Callie's feelings toward him were.
I was too, because I guess I didn't realize when we saw the preview and she was like, he killed our mother. I was like, wait, what? What is she? Because I didn't realize she really felt that offended and really saw him as a killer, to some degree. I didn't realize that it was to that extent. I knew she had issues with him, but I didn't realize that she 100% blamed him for everything.
I think that it was sort of amplified by what happened when she found out that Robert was her father, and that this is something that was kept from her for basically her whole life. And she probably, I don't know if she would have reached out sooner. I mean, she was in juvie, but maybe she would have reached out sooner to connect with Robert had she known that Donald wasn't actually her father. So I think that the grudge grew after she found out.
So are you saying that you think that all of her anger issues on the whole are channeled into this one excuse, of her upbringing and her mother dying and Robert Quinn, Donald, everything was summed up in her mind as just being I hate Donald, he killed her?
I think it's easier to pin it on someone than having to deal with your feelings.
Well, and because before she knew about Robert, she still knew that Donald was the one driving the car, correct?
Yeah.
And it never really seemed like as huge of a thing with her, this hatred towards Donald, I guess until what you're saying, until she realized that he lied about her father and who her father was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So maybe she's just using that anger and channeling it across every board with Donald.
Okay, it just
maybe
it took me aback, because I was like, wait, I know that he did this, but I forgot we were mad about it still.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like you lied, and you killed my mom, and you just keep repeating the last bit.
Exactly.
And you want to see him, Jude. And I think that that's also a part of it. It's
betrayal there.
How do you want to see this guy? Look what he did to us. Look what he did to our family.
I felt so bad for Jude.
How did you guys, Bethany, hi Bethany, 18, she wants to know, do you think Callie and Jude grew apart because Jude started going out with Connor? As opposed to the dad?
I don't think so.
No.
I think that's been a nice, quiet side of Jude that Callie has always quietly supported.
Yes. And I feel like the issues with Callie and Jude started to show up. Remember the episode at the lake when she was still being so overprotective of Jude? I think he's just growing up into a man, and Callie has not really seen that. He's stayed her younger brother who she must protect and say, no, you can't do this, you can do that.
Yeah, actually, Yadrelli Martinez, hi. She said, Callie is such a good big sister. She's always protective. So kind of echoing what you were saying, but there's sort of a point where as an older sister, you kind of have to just let go.
I know.
I think that Callie's feelings are so strong, though, because she was his mother for so long.
It's true.
And it wasn't walking him to school and making him dinner. She was mothering him for survival.
Yes.
It was life or death. And so how do you pull back from that? She's still very vigilant, very aware. I don't know that necessarily I want to call it an issue yet, although it seems like it could be something that we're definitely exploring this season.
Oh, completely. And it broke my heart for Jude and made me mad at Callie at the end when they do all see each other, when Donald and I just always want to call him Kerr-Smith because I don't know why. Robert and Robert meet, and Jude says to Callie, he's just talking about Donald, he's just as much my father as he is yours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I love that Jude still doesn't see this may not be your birth father, and even when he's so angry at Callie for the way that she's acting about Donald, he's still he's still your dad, he's my dad and he's your dad. Oh, I love that.
He's just the best kid.
He is.
When I have kids, I want 3 Judes.
For real.
And he stood up to Callie finally.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. It was nice too because that a lot of times, like, it takes us 3 or 4 episodes to, like, have the closure moment of, I'm sorry, you were right. And then we got that at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, also, another Twitter follower brought up the fact that Callie might also be upset because she tried to contact Donald while he was in prison, but then she found out that he was released. And that's why she's mad, because he didn't tell her that he was out of prison.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
And then also, we didn't find out till, like, the day of that he wasn't her father, right? It wasn't like we're trying to, like, get emancipated.
Right.
Yeah, when she was trying to be adopted, that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they came out and they're like, well, actually,
You have a different dad.
signature means nothing.
Oh, wasn't that, like, the season finale, too? Or, like,
I
one
think
of the
it
A and
was.
Bs? And we were like, no,
Oh my
Callie was so
God.
close.
Way back when.
She's always so close. Every finale is like, almost there. Nope.
I think out of all this interaction with Robert and Callie and Jude, I think I was most surprised by Donald and sort of his level of maturity and how he is he's basically lived 3 or 4 lives in his lifetime. And a lot of the people on Twitter are just saying how great of an outlook he has on life, not only about his relationship with Callie, but also what he said to Jude about that awkward interaction at the table.
And I loved how he said to him, like, if you want to share this, you can. My story is part of your story. So if you, which is so, I thought that was so beautiful. Like, so well said. I was like, oh, that's so true.
And his character, too, is not something we've seen on the show before. This kind of, like, quiet and a little bit awkward, like, in a great way. It was, like, amazing to see.
The parents really showed up in this episode.
I know.
Oh my God, I loved all the good parenting.
We talk so much about the kids, but really for me, I think Donald made it for this episode for me.
He really did. Well, and Robert, because
I mean, we'll talk about it later, but for me, it was Anna.
Oh God, I
for me.
forgot about that too.
I know. We'll get to her though, but finishing up with Callie, she and her friendship with AJ, like, was the impetus. Now AJ has a foster home in Mike. Mike is back.
Love it.
Happy Father's Day. I really liked this storyline.
I do too.
I don't think Callie does.
I don't really care that she doesn't.
To be fair, we all watched the same recording in the studio.
Oh, you're gonna out us.
It cut off, so we didn't actually get to see, after Steph and Lena asked her to sit down and then tell her about the foster, it cut out. So I can only assume by the preview that Callie feels extremely threatened by AJ and that she just wants to be protective of her family.
Sorry, guys. Well, that won't happen again.
But I don't understand.
You're right, though.
Yeah.
I don't understand though why she would be against it. I don't know what AJ has done that has offended her so much. Like, I don't really understand.
She fired. She might not graduate on time.
I know, but he was making that symbol for his brother, and like I don't know. I just don't. I think she is overreacting, and she's taking it so personally when it wasn't about her.
She's always just been like a protective character, though.
Yeah.
And I think she worries that this is another foster kid who's going to take away some of, like, the attention from Steph and Lena.
Yeah.
Like, that would be Callie's.
She's also really good at self-destructing. Like, she seems to put herself in
her
situations
specialty.
where she just, it's like, woe is me, Callie. And, like, don't get me wrong, guys. I love Callie. But it's just like she ends up in these situations where it's like, girl, come on.
I know.
Just calm down.
Yeah.
The only problem with AJ now being fostered by Mike is that if they find his brother,
Right.
he'll also
Mike
move
may
in.
have 2 children.
Oh, okay. So Erin, thank you, love. She said it will take a while for Mike to get the papers, so AJ is going to have to stay with Steph and Lena. So that's why Callie says that.
Thank you, Twitter and Erin.
Okay.
Thanks, Erin.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
I'm secretly hoping, this is nowhere on the internet that I've proof for it, but I'm hoping that Callie was acting like that and being mad because she has a crush on him.
I still want that too. Like, I think that would be like.
I know, but all the internet says that Tony has been cast as her new love interest.
I know, but I don't see that happening. Like, I don't know why.
Well, I don't know, because then on Periscope, on our little pre-show, somebody said that in episode 5 there's going to be Brawley.
Where do you get your information from?
I swear to God, I wish I had, like, I don't know, guys, send me the sites. Like, leave them.
Oh my God.
Leave a comment on this YouTube video with the foster sites that you check. We would love to
Bradley,
check
I
them
even
out.
forgot about them. Are people still cheering for them? Just kidding.
Jeffrey.
Shut your mouth.
Shush.
I'm ready for a Bradley comeback. I mean, if it's like AJ would be fun, I would suffice with AJ for now if we're gonna like take a while to get back to Bradley. But like, yeah, bring back some Bradley. Brandon's always like really on point when him and Callie got it going on.
I know. This show's been really subtle about just like kind of cementing it in our minds how hard the foster system is.
I know.
You know, AJ had that line, like, it's what he didn't want to go back in the system because it's hard to get like lost in there.
Right.
And like he couldn't find his brother then.
God.
It's just a lot of like, not subliminal, it's a lot of like little hints that, by the way, this is still a big issue. And Callie got out and Jude got out, but other kids are still in there. And I really like appreciate that.
It's true. It's so weird you say that because I was actually thinking that watching the episode too, which I I guess kind of forget sometimes because it is a show, so you get caught up in like the relationships and everything like that. But with all of Callie's relationships with the people in the foster homes, they keep that like constantly as a reminder, like, no, this is not drama for the sake of drama on a show. This is actually still an issue that kids are going through. And like, yes, juvie and things like that are a thing that happens when you're in a foster system.
And
it's
Callie
awful,
has
but
a
it's true.
ton of issues just from her upbringing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all along that same tracks, we're gonna get the girls united back on this season.
Rosie?
I'm very excited about
Rosie,
it. Rosie's
yeah?
back.
Yeah.
Charinda, Daphne, the gang's all here. I'm excited. Although that being said, it's like I want some of these characters to like grow up and like be okay.
I know.
So maybe
will
we'll see
be.
them outside of it.
Sure. I think they will be.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope Callie actually, since she's fired from her job, I hope that she maybe can get a job at Girls United. They'll let her do something over there. Who knows?
That would be awesome.
No. Just for the sake of ease, I really need her to get her job back.
That guy, listen, he was pissed.
Which I'm fine with because I didn't really like that character.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, really?
I didn't. For some reason, he bothered me, and
Oh,
I
but
didn't like that
Callie
character.
being there because
Yeah.
I was like,
I did
this is her
too.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Similar with the photography that keeps popping up.
Oh, yes.
Although, like, that's an art career, like, not as reliable.
Go for it, girl. Do
I'll
it.
talk to Robert Quinn about it. Okay, so finishing out the celebratory lunch, Connor's dad. That was nice he invited Connor and his dad.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think, Jillian?
Connor's dad, part of me is like, you're kind of sexy, but then he opens his mouth, and I'm like, okay, you're not sexy.
He's trying.
He's trying. Like, I just loved the interaction. Again, the savior, Donald, this
I know.
episode. The interaction that they had when he was basically like, are you embarrassed? Or is it about you or is it about your son?
It was such a good point.
And it really put things into perspective for him, I think. I mean, you can clearly tell he's trying, especially with him approaching Lena, which he would have never done before
Right.
because, hello, she's a lesbian. He doesn't want to talk to her. And talking about how he's doing research about LGBT kids coming out. Like, that's a big step in itself. But then when he freaks out about finding out that his son was outed at school, it just made no sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
What?
here's what I have to say about this. I didn't have a problem with this. Obviously, I want him to like open his arms
Right.
and have a big hug, and like Bette Midler will play in the background, and like have a beautiful moment, and I'll cry a tear, and then be done. I think he's doing fine.
I think he is too.
He's trying really hard. He's researching it. He like. I don't know. He's just processing it.
Yeah, he's
It
taking
takes-
it in doses.
Yeah, there's not like a timeline in the coming out process.
Right.
And his son has done it really early. And yet, in the reverse of that, your parents also need time to process everything as well. And I see him really trying hard.
Yeah.
And I really thought it was like great that we like didn't see it, that we saw this parent in this halfway place, honestly.
So, Edward Doyle, thank you for tweeting us. He said, in defense of Adam, he's protective and for good reason. His kid was shot and then he came out. # fear dominates.
That's a great point.
And that's, that's a perspective that I think these two are more on board with, but I really didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like his dad just wants to keep him safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of his like prejudice is that he's dealing with his son and like trying to figure it out and accepting him, and then he doesn't want his son to get like bullied or beaten up.
Exactly.
It's like a safety thing.
And like, yes, he still has his, issues that he's dealing with and accepting all of it, but he's actually come very far very fast with his son coming out. You know what I mean? I feel like it was just happened that he found out his son was gay, and he went from not being okay with it to really fast, like coming to this brunch, lunch, whatever it is, and try. I think,
and from like a standpoint of like him being like kicked out in the street for being gay, where like he could have leaned really easily in the last season, like he's doing really well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, I work at Trevor Project sometimes, and it's like I think a lot of kids would be very lucky to have him at this place now because you can see where he's gonna get.
Yes, and I think we'll see a cool turnaround with him. I'm actually like excited to watch his dad like come around.
Yeah. And I'm happy though there wasn't like a big turnaround yet because like it's more realistic this way. Yeah. What do you got?
So Edward actually chimed in again, and he said,
Edward. Just kidding.
And where is Connor's mom? That has to be an issue.
Are we ever going to find out about Connor's mom?
Did we? I forget.
I don't know.
Can you guys remind us if we're going crazy? Because I feel like we've talked about this before.
Okay, here's my thing. I could also do the Flash after show, and they cast, and there's a lot of orphans in that show. They cast one of the moms with this actress I like, and I can't remember which show it was, if it was Foster's or Flash. They both start with F's, okay? So one of those shows has a mom coming on. I'm pretty sure it was Connor's mom, though, that they cast. Yeah. So we're going to find out for next week.
Well, or we might find out right now. I just keep refreshing my Twitter feed. Someone come to my rescue.
Well, they have to do it fast because it's hot in here, and I'm going to be talking fast.
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, go for it.
Move on.
I'm cool with Connor's dad. Anything else to add?
Nope.
No.
Oh my God. Cross it off. So we're going to get to one of my favorite moments. That was not your favorite moments. Mariana's mom, Anna. Anna is nailing it. I think we need to mention her by name. Alexandra Barreto.
Killing it.
Oh my God, she is killing it. I want to say her like real name. I want to give her that.
Yeah, for real.
She looks great. She seems to be coming around.
Amazing bonding moments. I really felt too how close in age she and Mariana were.
It's true.
This episode.
Yes.
Oh my God. And I just loved her advice to Mariana. It wasn't, you need to tell Callie. You don't need to tell Callie. It was, I don't know, but you need to figure this out for yourself because you are the one who's going to be making this decision. What did she tell her? I don't remember. Like, I don't know. And then Mariana confessed that she did this because she thought that Matt wouldn't have sex on tour.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Girl, you're delusional.
I know it. Oh, but I was happy to hear that they did use a condom because I remember, I know last week that was a concern. So I was happy to know that.
I just really love that whole interaction with the two of them being like confidants.
They really seemed like mother and daughter. Like I could really see their relationship forming, and it's real. Oh, I love it. I really do. I like
think that they have each other's back finally for the first time probably ever.
Yeah, and them both being so open about being embarrassed and ashamed of things as well, and like being each other's shoulder to lean on through that.
And it ended up turning out wonderfully.
It did.
They went to the brunch at the bakery or whatever it was, and Mariana met all of her relatives without Jesus. # sorry, don't miss him. And I thought it was great.
And I thought it was so good too because Mariana has been like the perfect character. Everyone thinks is perfect. Because she's smart and a hard worker and gets her way. Because she works for it. I could see Anna being like, I can't disappoint her. But now that Mariana's confessed that, look, I'm not perfect, it's just Anna's allowed to say like, yeah, I'm not either. And it's like, it just puts them on a whole another level.
Know.
So good.
I feel like there's going to be a really good friendship between them too. Like I see them spending a lot more time together, not even just mother and daughter, but just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
I hope so. I wonder how this is going to affect the relationship that Anna has with Jesus, because he's away and obviously she has all that time to get close to Mariana.
Right. When
they do bring Jesus back, because we know that he's being recast.
Right.
You know, how is that going to be? Like, do you think it's going to cause problems?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because Mariana has this little family now, and Jesus isn't really connected to that side anymore.
I feel like it'll cause more issues between Jesus and Mariana than Jesus and Anna. Like, I feel like there may be a disconnect between them.
I could kind of see Mariana wanting to like be the mother and be like, no, I want you to be friend Anna. Like, let's try this.
Exactly, yeah.
I think this show is lucky that it's such a big cast, and so Jesus is easily to be like forgotten in the woods.
Sure.
And yet, I really missed his presence this episode when Mariana was there with her grandma.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's something they did together. You know, it's like I just like you said, it's gonna be weird when he comes back.
And I'm surprised they didn't do at least a phone call, since it was like Father's Day and they did that whole like surprise with the flowers for
It was
Steph
just
and
a
Lena.
line.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
like,
they're from Jesus too.
and when the phone rang, I was like, oh, phone call from Jesus. Oh, nope,
Yeah.
just kidding. We're not even gonna like pretend.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see how they work in this new actor and how often.
Absolutely. I feel like they're gonna have to wait a good amount of time so that they can like allow a time where he may look different. You know what I mean?
Like a grizzly
Mature.
beard.
It's weird. Nobody's really talking about the Jesus aspect of things. Everyone's being really positive about sort of what Jeff said about Mariana and Anna. Dustin, hi Dustin.
Hey.
He said, I love how Mariana and Anna have more of a sister bond because Anna totally respects Steph and Lena as moms.
Yes.
That's amazing.
True.
Preach.
I agree. Yeah. So let's segue to band camp. I love band camp. I have such mixed feelings on Kat. Obviously,
I
she's
know
screwed
it.
Brandon over this episode, but she's so like overtly rude. Do you think that's too much?
I do. I think it's coming on pretty intense right now.
Okay. I don't know if that's like the writing or the actress, the
I don't know.
combination of the two, but like it just doesn't feel like, I know of like bratty people, but you wouldn't be that overt.
I don't know how they're going to make a smooth transition out of her being this rude.
Well,
you know
and,
what I mean?
And that's why when she was being so flirty with Brandon and he responded, I was like, remember what she said this morning? Like,
Right.
don't give up on it.
But I was even okay with that because I was like, okay, they're going to have her start being flirty. We're going to see a different side of her. She's still probably going to be rude or whatever. But then to find out that she really was just manipulating him the night
Right.
before, I was like, okay, we need to give her some shed of light so that there is a redeemable quality when they do try to pair them two up or anything. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
There's nothing right now.
Yeah, why do you guys think Brandon did not say the truth when he was late and she said, don't meet me?
Because he's a better person.
But why wouldn't he just say last night she told me not to meet her anymore?
I think he's just matured.
Yeah.
He really doesn't feel like calling out a girl. You know, he's already in a weird spot because he thought he was going to the camp for piano and he's composing. So he's already sort of out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's one to place blame.
I don't think it's pointing fingers when it's like honestly telling the truth. There's like a nice way to do that and stand up for yourself.
Right, I agree. But I feel like if he would have done that, especially to the teacher, it would have linked him in as being part of the problem also because he would be being petty to some degree. And then that would be frustrating for the teacher as well. Now he just looks like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the right answer, but right now he's getting walked all over and he's letting him happen.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic having her be like the one pushing him to like make better art too.
I know, but he's gonna end up overshining her. That's what's gonna end up happening, right?
For sure.
Like
I
she's
think
gonna
so.
mess up.
If they keep up her attitude, I think that he will come out the bigger, better person to all of his peers and to his superiors. But also, I feel like maybe what they're gonna do is if Brandon really takes charge of her, then that's gonna be the flip. Because right now she's in control. She has all the power. And Brandon gets aggressive. I mean, we've seen him in some of the scenes with Lou, you know, the band scenes, trying to voice his opinion. So we know that he has a sweet face, but he has the aggression in him. So I think what I'm waiting for is either a break in the sexual tension with like a kiss. That's how he takes charge. I don't know. Like, it's all very weird to me. I mean, clearly they're setting her up to be a love interest of some sort, but I just don't know how they're going to work into it.
I agree with what you're saying, and I think what Hannah was saying, like about some redeemable quality for the audience to hold on to.
There has to be.
And then also, as I don't see her wanting a love interest as her character. She is this career-focused girl, and like, why would she, like, date somebody?
There has to be some sort of reason that she is the way that she is.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that that's what they use to like break the ice, you know what I mean? Or like maybe she has controlling parents and they meet the parents and like, so
then that
like
sort of like explains things. It's actually funny. Kel Loser, she says, Kat, I still can't get a read on her. I don't know whether we should love to hate her or hate to love her.
True, because
or hate to hate her.
And a lot of people are saying she reminds us of Talia.
Talia was so much fun to hate.
Brandon loves Mean Girls. They did date, so
I will say though, on most shows, whenever they introduce a character and at first she comes off like just the worst, she ends up usually being one of my favorite characters
Really?
if they give her a long enough time, because they're in. I feel
She's
like
damaged in some way.
Not even that, but they end up being the most honest about things, and it becomes more of an endearing quality, which right now it's definitely not. But if they give her, if that's where they're going, then they're gonna have to keep her character on for a very long time. You know what I mean? They're really gonna have to build this character.
It's just like with that trick she pulled at the
I
end.
know.
Yeah, that was rude.
It
It was rude.
That being said, though, like I think the actress herself can do it, because like her scene when she was drunk and being flirty and fun, I loved her.
Yeah, she was great.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they take her.
Yes.
I don't know, guys. A lot's going on. I'm getting stressed out. Let's go to predictions.
Yeah. Okay. It's warm in here.
Okay.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Predictions.
What do you got, Hannah?
What do I got? Oh, shoot. I don't even know. Oh, I think Callie needs to apologize to Jude. I think there needs to be, I do. I think there needs to be a sit down moment between Callie and Jude where they really hash out like the underlying issues that are going on between them with Donald and Robert, and I still like want a conversation between Callie and Jude about him and Connor. I think that's really important. They really haven't done that at all. Like their relationship has kind of gone askew, I feel like, and there needs to be some sort of clarity as to where they're going with this. You know what I mean? So I kind of, that's more of a hope. I'm hoping that.
So this episode was very genre light. And that's because we're going to be seeing a lot of them in the next couple of episodes.
Yes.
But it's interesting. They sort of, there was like a toast moment where they all toasted to the dads and they sort of shared this look.
Yeah.
And
was cute.
I just really want
You
to
think they're becoming dads?
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
They're going to foster.
I kind of just want to see them interacting more, and I know that there are some big things to come in their storyline that, you know, we are not fully aware of. But I'm excited to see their sort of development in the next couple of episodes, and also what happens with the kids at school, because now we really only got, the taste of that kid coming up to Connor at the party, but we haven't seen them in a normal school setting because everyone in the school knows now.
But it's also summer break.
Exactly. So when they do go out with friends, when they do come back, like I'm curious to see how that develops. And then I really think that Brandon and Callie need to reconnect and talk to each other about all of the things that are going on in their life. I feel like Brandon could use some really stellar musical inspiration, and I feel like,
Agreed.
I don't know, someone that he's madly in love with might help him with that.
Yeah.
You guys tell me. I could be wrong.
What would that character's name start with?
Rhymes with Allie.
Oh, I think I
and-
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so
They may be brother and sister. They may be lovers. Who knows?
Yeah, and then next week I'm really excited about the Monty thing, which, by the way, we are having the actress that plays Monty on the show next week, so she'll be able to
Yes.
explain herself.
Anika
Yes.
Noni Rose. I love her. Just kidding. Monty, we'll be here. I'm excited for that.
Yes, Monty.
I'm excited for, not excited, but I think that the Mariana losing her virginity storyline will be put to rest for a couple episodes.
yes.
Oh, we didn't even. Yeah.
I think that it's going to be because until Matt comes back, I think he has to find out somehow, whether through her or somebody else.
True.
I just wonder if Wyatt's going to be like the hitch in the plan where he tells somebody.
Well, and also with that, which I think they're related, but they're probably not. But we still also, is Steph still looking into who was the driver that hit?
Oh, you're exactly right.
Which I think may end up being Wyatt.
Well, actually, people were saying that it was maybe AJ's brother.
I wondered that too in the episode, but then I was like, no,
That's
because then that
drama.
gets
I don't know.
Exactly. Then that gets a little like
It could
I
be
don't know.
anybody.
Yeah.
Imagine that would be a tangled web.
Oh,
Holy heck.
God. I don't know. You were saying this was a genre light episode. It was also kind of like a Steph Lena light.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was called
together.
Father's Day after all.
You are not fathers. Go to your trailers.
Go to your trailers.
You know, someone tweeted an article this week. It was at Alphabet Ann on Twitter about their friendship between Sherri, Saum, and Steph. Her name is
Teri Polo.
Teri Polo. Thank you. I didn't realize how close they were. in
Really?
real
Are
life.
they?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it was just like amazing to read and like made me like love them even more, which I didn't know was possible.
Huh.
Oh my God, and everyone's tweeting me. I have to mention this because we watched the preview so fast, but Jude wants to go to a shooting range next week because he wants to feel protected.
From what?
From, I don't know.
I don't like that.
But all the gun
we
stuff.
won't have that.
I don't like that.
No, we don't want anything with guns.
No.
His boyfriend is on crutches from a gunshot to the foot.
We have to call Bradley.
Then we don't need another
gun. We're not doing guns. Thank you very much. Guys, we're going to see you next week. No guns allowed. Until then, where can we find you on the social medias?
Y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff, on my Facebook page, Jillian Leff Official. And I was just in a music video for this amazing artist called Linny, and I will post the link so you guys can all watch it. Really fun. A bunch of YouTubers came together for it.
That's a really fun video.
Yeah.
Really?
Guys, we're going to see you next week. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. We'll be here next week with Monty herself.
Yes.
We'll see you then. Good night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.